we got to get to G, not this G, the other G.
Oh,
Claude Giroux, the other big name on the trade market. Everybody thought he was going to Colorado a while back. We had Dave Pagnotta from the fourth period. He says, not so fast. Florida looks like they're in the running. Lo and behold, that's where he ended up after playing exactly 1,000 games for Philadelphia. By the way, the only player to ever play exactly 1,000 games for any team in NHL history. Pretty interesting fact.
Wow.
After 1,000 games with Philly, the Flyers traded Claude Giroux to Florida Panthers, along with a pair of current AHLs and a fifth-rounder in 24 for forward Owen Tippett, a first-round pick in 24, and a third-round pick in 23. Philly's also going to retain 50% of Claude's salary. Severelli, our buddy Frankie, said that Giroux, who had a no-move clause, told the Flyers he was only willing to accept the trade to the Panthers. So it was just a matter of getting a deal put together, kind of ties the Flyers' hands a little bit. He was the longest-standing captain in Flyers history.
Wow.
Obviously, Florida was dangerous before they got him. They're more dangerous now. Biz, let's go to you first on this one.
I don't think we ever got a reason as to why Florida was the only team. Or did you?
Well, he told him that's the only team he is willing to go to. Now, I don't understand why Philly could have kept that between him and G and not told other teams that, right? Or no?
So the other two teams in the East who were making offers were the Rangers and the Bruins. And the only other team out west, I believe, who was offering enough to even come close to what the other teams were offering was Colorado. So Colorado was interested. I find it very bizarre that he wouldn't have entertained Colorado, because if you look at the parity as far as conferences are concerned, Colorado in the West far above who at least they're in line to play right now as far as a wild card compared to where you are in the East with, I mean, who knows? Maybe they can end up playing Boston, and Boston's no pushover if they end up playing them as a wild card. But going back to the trade, I completely understand why Florida, even though it might be overkill as far as offense, because they are loaded offensively, they don't, as far as the core group of players who are pulling the rope, have the playoff experience. You look at Huberdeau, you look at Barkov, you look at Ekblad, who's now injured, you look at Reinhart, even if you look at Bennett. All those guys who are really producing. The only other two players with real playoff experience in that lineup are net front presence, Horny.
And Jumbo.
And Jumbo.
And now Sherratt, but he wasn't there.
Correct. Right. And now Sherratt with Montreal. But as far as the guys up front, like Jumbo Joe can be a calming voice in the room, but he doesn't have that on-ice impact that he once did. He's a fourth liner. So getting him was probably important in that regard, as to he knows exactly what it takes inside those very emotional series. He's been to a cup final. He's competed against the Pittsburgh Penguins in the heydays and really know what playoff performing is about. And even despite the fact that Claude Giroux is aging, he has a great season offensively. He's got great analytic numbers. He is still playing at the top of his game, and I don't think that they had to give up an absolute boatload to get him, especially at the fact that they kind of cornered him and saying, that's the only team I want to go to. So as far as other GMs who did a great job at the deadline, tip your cap to Bill Zito, because at the issues that they had now, especially with the Ekblad injury, the Sherratt move making even more sense and looking even better. Great move for Giroux. Great move for the Florida Panthers. They're still at the top. They still are not in the clear, though, because that is a wagon of a conference.
Yeah, and unfortunately, not a little off topic in terms of bringing in Giroux, but the Panthers are completely fucked without Ekblad. And that is a great team up front, can play with any team in the league up front now, especially with Giroux, and he can play center, he can play wing. Say Bennett wants to stay at center, he could play on the wing for him, or play on the wing with Barkov on the top line, but Ekblad, that team I thought needed two defensemen. They got Sherratt, which was a great addition, but they are not the same team without Aaron Ekblad. And you have heard that he's out for the rest of the regular season and will return in the first round. But, I mean, that means he's out at least a month. You know, all of a sudden you hop back into a first round that, whether it's with the Bruins, whether it's with the Leafs, it's going to be a good team that they're playing against. And if he's even misses the first 2-3 games of that first round, like, you're in a lot of trouble. So hopefully he's back. But without him, they're screwed. They're screwed because their D wasn't really great to begin with, even though Sherratt will be a difference maker for them.
I don't know if you have the exact tweet, RA. I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on. And keep in mind, this is just...
That he's not injured at all?
Let me put my tinfoil hat on.
It's already on. Oh, sorry, that's our Pink Whitney spring,
that's our new
spring
Pink
golf
Whitney, bucket hat. I believe the day that Ekblad went on long-term IR, if they hadn't put a player on long-term IR, they would have been forced to deal a current player off their roster in order to open up cap space to add Claude Giroux. And if it wouldn't have happened before 5 p.m. of the day that they made the deal for Giroux, that was the case. Now, listen, I am in no way, shape, or form saying that Ekblad is faking this injury. Absolutely not. I would never say that. I feel terrible for him because I agree with you, Whit. If they don't have Ekblad in that lineup, I think they're toast. They could even lose first round after selling the farm in order for this cup run. All right, do you have the tweet?
I actually have it right here. I'll read it if you want. It says, Cap Friendly had this. They said, last night we said that the Panthers, this was on March 20th. They said, last night we said that the Panthers did not have the cap space to fit Giroux under their ceiling without a corresponding move. But they had until 5 p.m. Eastern time today to do it. We have now been told that Florida has placed Aaron Ekblad on LTIR, giving them an additional $7.5 million in relief.
And remember, I have a tinfoil hat on right now, so anything I say with the tinfoil hat is not being taken seriously. If, in fact, Ekblad pulled that off, give him the Norris and give him a fucking Oscar, RA.
He did look like he was in a lot of pain in Anaheim, though. So hopefully he is okay and he'll be back because, like I said, without him, they really don't have a chance. It's like trying to say Tampa would have a chance to win a third in a row without Hedman. They need that guy. He's their number one.
Yeah, obviously, fucking huge loss. We got to mention.
Let me take my tinfoil hat off.
All right.
It is now off of my head.
Biz is back.
Whatever. Also, we want to go back to Drew for a sec. He took that final lap as a Flyer after the game. It was his 1,000th game. Real emotional scene for him. And the other cool thing the Flyers did, they had his dad come in to introduce the lineup for his last game. I don't know if you guys caught that. Pretty good shit from the Flyers, but it's a new staff for Giroux, and we'll see what happens down in Florida.
And I hope at some point we do find out, like, he was so dialed in and wanted Florida. That was the only place he'd go. I was confused. What did you mean, though? Like, why did they say anything? What do you mean?
Wait, why did they?
You said, why did they have to tell everyone that?
No, I'm saying if like the Flyers were the only ones who knew he wasn't going to go anywhere else, they still could have negotiated with other teams.
But
and
why?
Not told,
he wouldn't have gone there.
Just to at least try to maybe drive up the price. Because if Florida didn't know that was his only destination, you know what I'm saying? If Giroux and Philly kept it between each other.
Give us more. All right,
so then they could say, hey, I'm getting this from them, and they're not lying, even though they don't know they're never going to get him.
Maybe Giroux's agent. Maybe it became more. Yeah, but I know what you're saying. Yeah. Understandable.
All right.
But he definitely had his sights set on being a Panther. Yeah. And maybe in terms of Colorado, he's comfortable. He's played in the East his whole career.
You know what it was?
You know what I mean? What, tinfoil hat?
No state taxes.
No state tax.
What's his dough?
It's huge, too.